was kind of tough for me. I felt like, should have probably gotten the award, me or Chase, but, it happens and can't dwell on it now. I mean, it's just, the way things go sometimes.
Were you expecting it?
Kind of, but it's whatever.
Pro Football Focus graded you out as the highest rated player on either side of the ball in the entire country. Did you hear about that? What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it just shows, I had a good year this year, and, it was a hell of a season so far. And, yeah, I mean, it was exciting to see.
Nice to have that in face of the Bosa thing with the Big Ten.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you ever think about not playing in the bowl game?
A little bit. Still not really sure. So right now it's just, business as usual, just practicing and all that type of stuff.
So you haven't made a decision?
No, I haven't.
What's going to go into that decision from here?
Just, speaking with my family, talking to Jake, talking to, Chris, some of the other guys that, may have had that, similar decision to me, talking to Coach Harbaugh, just trying to use all my resources to make sure that, I make the best decision for, myself and my family.
Do you know when you want to have that sort of meet up?
Probably sometime in the next 2 weeks, next week.
Is it hard to shake what happened to Jake out of your head?
Yeah, I mean, it's extremely tough. I mean, just like being there and seeing him go down, I mean, it was heart-wrenching just to, see the emotion on his face, his family's face, and, it was just so tough, and it was really hard for me, to watch last year.
Did the sense of circumstances support your decision should you decide so?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they would. Yeah.
Do you have an insurance policy or anything like he did?
Yeah, but I mean, I know nothing about insurance, and honestly, I have no idea what I signed. That's kind of one of the issues with this whole insurance thing, and like I wasn't as fortunate as Jake or his dad was kind of be able to be involved with that. I can't hire a lawyer to review my insurance policy and make sure that it's the best one for me. So I think that's an issue that people have to focus on because. I mean, honestly, I have no idea what I signed, so I'm not really sure.
When did you sign it?
Beginning of the season.
You said Jake's dad was involved?
Yeah, like, I mean, his dad's, a very smart business guy, able to, even go above and beyond, what the university does by, providing more money for extra insurance, which, I'm also not in a situation to do. So, it's just, it's interesting.
Sounds like it's something you're kind of going back and forth with. I mean, is it a difficult decision for you? I mean, a lot of guys would say, I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
tugging on you to maybe you want to play or no?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a difficult decision. Yeah, it's something it's tough to make. For sure.
Got time for a few more for Mo.
Have you figured out what you're going to do post-bowl or in terms of training, etc.?
Yeah, I kind of got some idea. Somewhere I think in California is where I think I'm gonna train. A lot of the guys did Exos last year. I think that could be, a possible destination for me once the season ends.
South Carolina's line is, I think, all juniors and seniors. What does it add for a team to have that kind of experience, and how does it change maybe what you try to do against them at all?
I think it's always good when a team has a cohesive group of juniors and seniors. I think they got one guy that transferred. I think their left tackle transferred from a junior college, but he's been one of the bright spots for him. So I mean, they've played pretty good as a group throughout the year, and they've been able to produce a pretty good record so far this season. And it's always a challenging task to go against experienced linemen.
What do they do differently than maybe freshmen and sophomore linemen?
They just don't make as many mistakes. There's not as many mental errors. They just do everything kind of, right and get the job done for the most part.
A year ago at this time, Chris and Taco talked about this group would be more athletic than last year's. How do you feel going forward? What are you seeing going into 18 about this difference?
I mean, I see some great things. There's so many bright spots in that young D-line, and, I think it just, speaks volumes to, the stuff that Coach Madison's been able to do. And, the big thing was that, none of us were really big-time recruits coming out of high school. He's he's starting to get some bigger time guys, and I think those guys are going to develop really well, like Rashawn and Chase and Aubrey, and all those guys are going to be. They're so much better than we were. I feel like.
Have you talked to Chase about his decision coming back or leaving?
Yeah. I mean, I told him, you can't go wrong either way. I feel like each situation is, is different and should be handled in, its own way. So, I'm not one to tell him to come back just because of me. It's his decision, and I think that's the most important thing to think about. That each case is really unique.
You mentioned Rashawn. Who else have you seen behind you that really looks like they could flourish next season?
I think Lawrence is definitely someone that could come in next year and start and do some great things. I mean, he's been probably I think he's definitely been one of the most improved guys throughout the season, and he's been behind me, so he hasn't been able to get to display himself as much. But I mean, he's done some really great things, and he's really starting to come out there and do some really nice things. And he made this transition from outside to inside, so he's an athletic guy, and he's been able to be very productive in practice.
Just a couple more from Mo, please.
You have a lot of opinions. There's a lot of talk about graduate guys coming in, transfers from Ole Miss. I mean, it's no secret. What do you make of that?
I think it's always a good thing to have sort of competition, and that I've always been one to believe that competition brings out the best in everyone. I think that is kind of where Coach Harbaugh is probably going with it. He's probably thinking that I can bring in some great players from Ole Miss, kind of guys that have already sort of proven themselves, and they'll just be a great addition to the team. I mean, it's just adding another great dimension to a team that's already pretty good.
Is it ever tough from a pride standpoint, though? Like, if someone's coming in at your position, and you may feel you've done enough?
I
know it's not directly related to your...
I feel like for football, you shouldn't let your feelings get hurt. And if you have someone coming in and, they're better than you and they play over you, then, they're better than you. That's just, what it is. So, I think it's always just, competition. If you're the best quarterback, you're going to play. If you're the best running back, you're going to play. Your best D lineman, you're going to play. It's sort of how the things go.
Well, in the course of your decision that you're going to make, have you met with Jim yet, or do you want to think about it and then meet with him, or how are you going to?
Yeah, I'm going to meet with Coach Harbaugh, this coming week.
Because he talked about it the other day. I mean, he said, he supports whatever decision anybody makes in that. So do you want his advice on, or do you want to, at this point, say, do you want to have your decision made and you want to tell him, or do you want his advice on this?
I definitely want his advice, being a head coach and, just having so many connections and things like that. I really value, his opinion. So definitely get his advice, ask him, what would he do if I was his son, those type of things.